Greetings F1 enjoyers, and this is the Bandito from the Racer Cinema Productions YouTube channel saying, we have an extra race to take a look at before the All-Star race begins. This is a race where Max Verstappen would lead. We have a battle between Hamilton and Antonelli, and Hamilton can't seem to get past him. Yeah, what's going on with him this year? But anyways, Oscar Piastri pits in while Lando Norris stays out. Yeah, and in my opinion, I always look at Piastri as the second-in-command McLaren driver, whereas Norris is the guy who's the leading driver. That's just me, though. Lance Stroll also decides to make a pit stop. I did not see the early parts of the race, yeah, because I went into the race 10 laps, but I can assure you that Max Verstappen led and dominated the race. Because any race where he wins, he dominates. But I can tell you that I didn't miss out on much. Verstappen continues to lead. Piastri manages to move up. Leclerc overtakes Tsunoda despite his best efforts to try to hold him off. Hajar gives up 4th place to Oscar Piastri even though he tried his best to hold him off. Yeah, it's a theme of Formula 1. You can't wreck the cars because they're fragile. It's not like NASCAR. Similar thing with IndyCar. Lando Norris makes a pit stop. And the race gets a yellow flag. Of course it had to be Esteban Ocon. Yeah, we're seeing a theme with Renaults and we're seeing a theme with Renaults being involved with cautions. It happened with the controversial Crashgate scandal. And guess who the freaking team principal of Alpine is? Mr. Crashgate himself. Yeah. Ironic, isn't it? Anyways, Verstappen pits in under caution. Albon also decides to pit in. Because this is Formula 1, refueling is banned and it's a tire-only stop. All drivers pitted in before the virtual safety car appeared. More drivers come down to pit road to get fresh tires. Yeah, some people think that the hybrid system is needed, but I think it is, as there's no refueling and the cars have to have as much fuel as they can to make it to the end of the race, or they run out of fuel. That's why I don't think V10s with biofuels would work as well as V6s with hybrids, considering that the hybrid powertrain is more efficient and easier on the engine. Yeah, like a lot of car guys that I've seen hate hybrids, but I'm not one of them because I do believe that hybrid cars can make cars last longer than traditional internal combustion engines that have, well, turbochargers. A lot of them have turbochargers. Yeah, you do get some with naturally aspirated engines, but they're usually cars that are either A, really cheap and low end, or B, vehicles with bigger engines that have really poor gas mileage, like trucks. And even with biofuel, it doesn't help their gas mileage. So yeah, hybrids are much easier on the engine than turbochargers. And a lot of people who drive in internal combustion vehicles, traditional internal combustion vehicles, yeah, they have turbochargers. Even my dad's car has a turbocharger. And it's still hanging, even though turbochargers are known to be expensive to replace. But anyways, I don't want to get into this argument anymore, but I do know that hybrids are more reliable because naturally aspirated engines, and they're actually pretty good on the engines. But they are expensive though. But hey, everything comes with a price, and even the hybrid batteries are just as expensive as replacing a turbo. So beggars can't be choosers. So yeah, that's why the hybrid unit is needed. Carlos Sainz gets past Yuki Tsunoda, which is something impressive for Williams. Lewis finally gets past Antonelli for 6th, which concludes the long, grueling battle of the two. Holy crap! Hamilton gets past Hajar, moves up to 5th. Yeah, because Ferraris are fast in the straightaways. Meanwhile, Kimi Antonelli is holding off the other Ferrari driver for 7th, which is impressive for the 18-year-old himself. He doesn't do it in the straights as Leclerc manages to get past him because, again, Ferraris are faster in the straights. Every Formula 1 car is different. It's not like IndyCar where they have spec chassis. They're all very different. And that's why I think this whole thing around spending money on aero parts and having much more open restrictions wouldn't work well in IndyCar because it would result in a spending war, but hey, that's just me. Nico Hülkenberg gets past Fernando Alonso. Wait, what? Leclerc then gets past Isaac Hajar, and now both Ferraris are running together. Sainz overtakes Hülkenberg for 10th. 44 laps in and Max Verstappen continues to lead. Crap. Antonelli gets into the grass and another yellow comes out. Just like that, Antonelli is out of the race. Poor Kimi. He had potential. Hopefully he'll do better at Monaco. The leading driver, Max Verstappen, decides to come down to pit road. Lando pits in and even manages to hold off Albon. Other drivers decide to come down to pit road. Once the race gets restarted, Verstappen holds on to his lead and defends it against the dynamic duo of Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris. I came here to see Max Verstappen win since Imola is a special track. Lando Norris gets into a battle with his own teammate. Norris makes an impressive pass on his teammate and he's now in second, though we still can't get past Verstappen. Oh man, contact is made with the two Ferrari drivers and Albon. Close call as they could have wrecked each other, but they didn't. Hamilton is now in fourth, but it might be too late to catch up now. Albon won't have any of it as he tries to get past Leclerc, who also gets penalized. Yeah, Leclerc also got penalized, which is pretty bad. Just like that, Verstappen wins his fourth race of 2025. Now that's what I wanted to see. We also saw the drivers talk about the race, and later after that we saw the podium itself, which usually plays the winning driver's national anthem, something that you don't see in NASCAR and IndyCar. Also, in NASCAR, they only celebrate the Driver Wars. F1 celebrates 3 drivers, meaning that even getting third place in F1 is a big deal. Another thing that you never see in NASCAR and IndyCar is a Constructors' Trophy. So, what do I think about Imola? Well, it's another decent race where Verstappen dominated. Not the best Imola race, but anything's still better than that IndyCar race at Fermo. It gets an 8 out of 10, but anyways. I have the NASCAR All-Star race to take a look at next, so stay tuned. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case if you haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.